dude, you're 6'5", you know? All right. Well, looks like we got some work to do. What's up and good morning, guys? How are you? I'm talking to you guys from inside of my office today. So, looks like we got a repair to do today. I'm yelling because this thing's super loud. This thing's pretty freaking cool, man. Oh. You know when you do something, you're like, yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. Well, that's kind of what's happening here. We are so slammed here right now, but let me just kind of give you a back history of how this car got here. This truck got here. Well, it all started off on a day that I was flying back from a show. And I was talking to my brother. I was like, man, we should get a jet boat. So I'm on the plane. I buy the Wi-Fi. Started going on offer up. Before I landed, I had a boat secured and locked in. As soon as I landed, I got to the airport, jumped in my truck, went and picked up the boat, and yeah, that's kind of what happened. It all happened really quick. And after that, we just I've been buying parts and pieces for that boat, and I'm gonna do a full restoration. Kind of, I don't want to say full restoration, but I'm gonna do a full. It's a project boat, so I want to do a full restore, but update it to my style. You guys know my style it's different. Like this is different. And well, started going on offer up, and I think Facebook Marketplace. I started looking for stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna start buying a whole bunch of stuff. Because when I have time, I'm going to jump into that thing hardcore. But until then, I'm just going to keep buying parts and stacking it up, putting it away. Now, this is a project that you guys don't even know about. I have a lot of those projects where I buy and I put them away, and you guys don't see or you guys don't know about them. But this is one of them. And well, offer up landed me a deal. And well, I bought this crazy fiberglass scoop for my boat. And I was going to send it out, get it fully patterned and painted out and stuff like that. And well, the guy that happened to sell that stuff and make it happened to own this truck. And well, months go by. He always talk on IG and stuff like that. And well, he needed some help. And man, I couldn't say no. I could not say no. I should have said no. I definitely should have said no. But something this cool like this deserves the proper air ride. You know, like. This thing got a freaking blower on it. It has freaking flamethrowers. I've always wanted flamethrowers. That is freaking sick, man. It really is. But there's just a few things we gotta address. Nothing's really horribly wrong with it. Not that I've seen yet. There's just a few things that we just gotta address. Just to make this thing really roadworthy. I got a whole bunch of pictures and videos and stuff like that. Seeing issues that he wanted for us to like look at and address, and some of them are severe, some of them weren't so severe. A lot of them were just cosmetic, and he just wants to be able to jump in this thing and drive it, which hopefully he's not taller than me, 6'5", because I barely fit in this thing. This thing's freaking sick though. But I'm excited for this, man. I really am. I got a lot of work ahead of myself because everything's inside here, and everything I need to work on right below the gas tank. And this thing sits nice and low. I mean, let's get a proper walk around. I mean, right now is the perfect time to be working on this. This weekend is GNRS, Grand National Roadster Show, and Grand National Roadster Show, sorry. And you can see, this is that style that's always there. I love this, like, this lead sled style, this custom style. I love this. Fully molded in back wells, tubs, fenders, side pipes, fully molded in, shaved handles, chop. I mean, dude, this is like, everything is molded on this thing. This thing is sick. So, like I said, should have took this job in, but we're gonna make it right, and we're gonna get to it. We have a lot of work ahead of ourselves because we're still working on the frame back there. We're actually a little bit behind on that. Adon took a few days off, and we've just been slammed. I've been welding like crazy. And yeah, I got another cool project here to work on. So I'm super excited for that. You guys know, when it comes to helping people out, we always try to help everyone out as much as possible. Some guys will take the advice, some guys won't. It's not that we're trying to upsell anyone or trying to, it's just we've been around it a lot. And we see this, we literally do this every single day. So when I saw this, I was like, yeah, man, we could use some upgrades on there. We could definitely use, you know, little things tweaking. Like I said, it's not a bad system. It really isn't. It's actually using a lot of the same components that we physically use. So he has the heart there. The heart's there. It's just, you gotta just clean it up a little bit. All right, guys, so let me get you guys an update where we're standing on this truck right now. We just kind of did a little quick assessment of what's going on, what we're working with, what we're dealing with, and what it's going to take, how many days, how many hours. I think I got it dialed in. I think I got it figured out. I think roughly about, to do a full system check, check the lines, check the bags, reseal anything we got to reseal and rewire, and also change the valving, plumbing. We're going to keep, a lot of the components he has in here are really good. Slam manifolds, same stuff we use. It was just more of how everything was ran. And let me kind of give you guys an idea of what was going on and why he was concerned. I did pull the gas tank just to make things easier to work with right now. Luckily, everything was just kind of zip tied, so I was able to just cut zip ties. Kind of see, got a whole bunch of zip ties here on the floor. Hey, a nickel. Let me put that back in my pocket. I just made 5 cents on this job. All right. So this is kind of what is going on, and this is what the customer is worried about. These air lines are just kind of dangling here, and as you can tell, this thing is pretty much on the floor. So he was worried about this dragging and hitting. Also, this airline's rubbing up on all these sharp edges right here, and it's just kind of a rat's nest of wiring. So I started pulling back, cutting zip ties. I gotta undo clamps right now too. Right here we got his fuel sending unit, so I'm not worried about that yet, but also trying to figure out what's gonna be the best scenario for routing this. Now the customer's we're not redoing this whole thing. I stay within this customer's budget here also. So again, this is like taking us back to like 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago when we used to do repairs and installs like this all the time. Stuff like this would come in all the time. I do miss it. You know, I do miss it from time to time. The thing is, right now, it's just production's so crazy, you know, and we got this huge shop with all the machines running. That's really, you know, our main priority, and keeping you guys stocked up with products. So every once in a while, I get the opportunity to sneak in a cool job like this. Well, today's one of those days. Like I said, he was really cool. He was okay on time frame. I told him I was gonna try and get him in and out as quick as possible because I had an open window where one of our other builds didn't show up, and I only have about 2-3 days before that thing does show up. So I'm just kind of filling that void right now. That's all this is. Now, I know we don't really offer this to the public. We don't really do that, but I just want to show you guys what this could look like before and after. And again, we're keeping this very minimal budget wise. We're not chopping and cutting this whole thing up. We're working with what the customer has here, and we're just gonna clean up and dress up, you know, properly heat shrink, properly grommet, that kind of stuff. We're gonna only hit the items that he requested for us to do as far as the air ride. He wants to feel safe in this, and a lot of extra slack, a lot of extra lines, a lot of just, you know, extra. So we're gonna condense and minimize and try to clean up and properly clamp everything for the air ride. I went ahead and ordered I think like 80 something clamps. I think I just spent like, I don't know, $90 in clamps the other day, yesterday, because I knew this car was coming in. So I just ordered a whole bunch of extra clamps, a whole bunch of different versions, a whole bunch of different styles. We used to stock that stuff, but because we don't really do install or repairs anymore, we don't really have any of that stuff. So I did just order a whole bunch of that stuff. Also got a whole bunch of other stuff that I ordered in just in case. And if we don't tend to use it, then I'll use it for something else. But yeah, I got my work cut out for me, I'll tell you that. In a 2-day span, and trying to film this, it's gonna be pretty interesting. Right now, going through, taking all the old fittings off. We're gonna reconfigure this because they had it just like
kind of like that, where the hose is kind of just sticking out. So we're gonna run 90s on this, change the fitting configuration up, bring it here. That way everything runs a little bit smoother and just looks a little cleaner. We're also gonna go through and change out PSI switch just because I'm already here. So for the safety of it, everything looks fairly new, but this looks a little beat up. So I don't know if this is a used part or just an old part, but we're gonna put in a new one. Also, this one, I don't know if this one's 200 or not. I can't read it. There's no sticker on it, which is kind of weird. So I'm gonna put this to a 200. That way he has the proper air in here to lift this thing. Compressors look good. They look fairly new. Obviously they're a little dusty, a little dirty. We'll go through, clean this up. I'll probably go through, check his filters, make sure the filters are properly cleaned. That way it doesn't explode the head. If anything, maybe upgrade them to our billet compressor filters. We're just gonna get rid of all this wiring and this hose and the way this is. We're gonna keep a lot of this the way it's mounted. We're just gonna reconfigure and replumb and kind of just rerun everything so it's a little bit cleaner. All right, this one's been fighting me a little bit here. This one's all rounded off. They buried it completely, 0 thread showing. So I'm gonna try to use the easy out real quick, try to get this one out. The rest of them all came out. So I got to go through, clean out these threads, blow it all out. We've already got this cleaned up. I mean, we got it sanded down a little bit. I gotta go through and hit all these spots. There's a lot of rough patches that gotta worry about airline. Like right here, there's still a little rough patch. You kind of see it in the camera. So we're gonna go through, clean all this up a little bit more. I got a pile of stuff that's been removed already. We're gonna just keep going at it. Got Vic and the guys assembling me some billet filters so we could clean these up, get billet filters on here. I'm most likely probably gonna toss on one of our billet protectors too. So I mean, for one, it also looks good, but two, it will protect it from anything being thrown up, so it doesn't hit the manifold, being that it's like right here. So kind of serves two purposes. It looks good and also keep it as a protector. Same thing with the billet filters that we'll add onto here. And yeah, we're just going through doing cleanup now. This easy out set didn't do it. The longer taper one did with a little bit of extra heat. We got it out. Man, I was a little worried on that one. Bad part now is I just created more work for myself just because I was trying to be nice and put a correct PSI switch in. So now I gotta wash and flush this tank out because you can see that's all brass shavings. So now we gotta clean the tank out. That's no fun. Trying to be nice to get all brand new stuff in here and kick myself in the butt. Just created another 2 hours worth of work. I've been fighting that for like 35-40 minutes. Finally got it though. I mean, anyone that knows that feeling of like an easy out, actually extracting and doing what it's supposed to do, it feels good. I was getting a little worried because I had the little shorty set right here and none of these were working. So luckily my brother had a longer tapered set, and this one I was able to hammer in real good and heat it up and get it out. So that's out. I started sanding all this stuff up too, but it's gonna need a lot more sanding. I was trying to save all the little, like I was trying not to sand it completely, but there's so many rough patches on here that I don't want none of the air out, like that right there. I don't want none of the airline getting caught on that stuff, so I'm gonna clean all that up. Yeah, this one's turning out to be a little more than I expected, but I feel like any repair like this is. It's kind of fun. I like doing these repairs. Just because it's challenging. You know, you have like criteria and guidelines, and you gotta stay in budget, and that's the tricky part. But obviously without like half-assing stuff too, you know. So try and do it right, use the proper fittings, route it, and just make it look better. Realistically, that's all it is. Like I said, this truck was fully functioning, going up and down. Everything was working. It was just, you know, the owner was a little worried that something could possibly happen because the way everything was hanging and the way everything was routed, and there's wires right on top of the heads of the compressors and stuff like that. So just gonna address that little stuff. Again, not major job, but it's very time consuming. Right, we got compressors plumbed in, new fittings on the compressors, on the 90s out, 90s out, resealed all these. We also got the tank pressure in line here. That way all this could get clamped together. PSI switch on this side, that way it can get all clamped together. We move the relay over here. That way the wiring comes in off of this rail and it could just die off into here, and the compressor will drop straight down there, run straight across and to that side. We're gonna self-ground these guys right directly underneath it. That way we don't have to worry about extra wiring. We got manifold mocked up for right now. Still trying to figure out what I want to do to clean this up. I'm not sure yet. billet compressor filters on, Loctite it in, new filters on. Tank got wiped up. There's these weird little stains on it, but can't get them off. So far, it's looking better. All right. I had to spice it up a little bit. I was really debating because I can't go crazy on this. As much as I want to go crazy on it, I gotta keep it in the customer's budget. And now I didn't want to go and have to cut all the mounts off and fix everything and redo it. So, because it's all there. It's just cosmetically, it's not pleasing to the eye. The welds aren't the best. So I went and cleaned up and I grinded it up a lot. But instead of cutting everything off and spending 2-3 days on grinding, cleanup, and redoing the frame, we're just gonna do a little dress-up piece. The customer was like, just do what you gotta do to make it look better than what it is. Stay in my budget, pretty much, So again, and I don't want to reach out and be like, hey dude, you owe me another $500 for all these extra hours. So I'm going to stay in budget, and the fastest way to do it, as you guys saw, was cut a new piece. But we're just going to cut a piece that's going to overlay and hide cosmetically, it's going to hide the welds. Just so, and again, you're never going to see any of this stuff. It's actually going to be completely covered up. The gas tank hides it all, but for me right now to hide it and my sanity, I keep having to stare at it, and I want it to look better. So we're gonna make a cosmetic piece to cover it, and also it's just gonna blend it all in. Waiting for a few pieces to cool down from the laser right now. Get them sanded up, and right now in the meantime we're gonna work on the front bags. Once that stuff cools down, we'll jump back to the back right now, but not to waste any time. So right now, just changing out the front bolts. Bolt change. Luckily I checked these. These are actually really loose, so got a little Loctite on them. And let's see, come on. Oh, I just dropped another bolt. All right, we got that one. All right, both front bolts have been changed on the upper. I'll do the lowers once I get air in it. So let me grab my Loctite, and we'll move over to the driver's side and do the same thing. Some more Loctite, and we're just repeating that same thing 4 times, 2 on each side. I'm only doing 1 bolt at a time, just so I don't lose position of the bag. Let's see, there you go, got it in. Actually, just kidding, I didn't get it in. Let me see if I can do right-handed. Left-handed is always a little weird. There we go, got it started. Let me get that tightened up. I got those 2 all tightened up, but as I lean on this right now, this is why we do a check, is front shock bolt's loose. So get that, looks like it's missing a washer too. We'll get a washer on there and get that re-tightened up. So I went ahead and added a nylock nut on that just to keep it from vibrating off. And on this side, we're gonna do the same thing. Actually, look like this side doesn't even have a, let's see if this one's loose too. This one's actually tight, but this one doesn't even have a lock washer. We'll change this out. We'll go nylock on this one as well so it doesn't vibrate off. I just tightened both of them and added nylocks onto these. And then I was like, you know what? I better check the bottom too. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that down there. Yep, that's loose. All right, time to grab some more nylocks. This is where things start adding up, and this is what people don't realize. I go walk over there and I grab, 4 nuts. You're just thinking 4 nuts. Well, grade 8 nylock nut is like $1 something, this is probably 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 4 in the back. Oh, 2 in the back, so 4, 6. That's 6. 12 bucks. Let's just say 12 bucks. Yeah, and then we start replacing all the nuts and bolts, and you start finding other things. You do a grade 8 bolt, 5/8. That's 2, 3 bucks. So actually, if they're longer, they're $5, $6 a piece. So this is where things start adding up, and people don't realize is hardware. Hardware is expensive. Proper hardware is expensive, but it's also proper. It's the way you want to do it. But it's little things like this that people overlook all the time, and they don't add this into expense on builds. I normally add in for full hardware on build right around $2,500 for hardware. That's only for grade 8 stuff, and that's the gold stuff. Normally not stainless steel. If you start doing stainless steel, I won't use stainless steel on suspension items because it is more brittle. but I'll use it on like cosmetic stuff, dress up stuff, and it adds up quick. All right, guys, so we have made progress. Not as much as I'd like, but obviously you can only do so much in, you know, one day. But we got compressors mounted, we got tanks and fittings reconfigured. What we're working on right now is gonna be power. So we're gonna draw the power in from the battery. I already created a new bracket. So we got the 100 amp breaker over there. We have 4 gauge welding wire, not stereo wire. Yeah, so that's what we're working on right now. Go ahead and hit the time lapse. Cool little trick, guys. If you're checking for airline leaks, shake your bottle, flip it upside down, and you get pretty good foam. It takes a little longer, but definitely foams up better and it's more visible. So right now we're doing a full leak check. We got everything up. It's still not finalized, but we're hitting it with soap and water all the way around, and we're just checking everything that we've touched and worked on so far. That way, if you have to address anything, right now is the time to do it. Also, guys, like I was mentioning before, kind of snuck this in between another project, and well, the other project showing up tomorrow. So I had to call AJ in for some reinforcements because there's no way I was gonna be able to finish this today. At least air it up today. And my goal was to air it up today, that way we can leave it up tonight and do a full system check. So with the system check and the air leak test, I air it up all the way. And what we do is just pretty much, let me show you. I air up these guys all the way. Front bags, rear bags, and the tank at a full 200. So we did put a 200 PSI switch in here. So we set that guy up all the way full 200. And we let that guy cycle. It already kicked on and off with the PSI switch. So everything worked there. So now tomorrow we'll know if there's a leak that we missed, the car will drop down. All right, guys, can you guys see? There's the first leak. And that's, it bubbles up real good with that method. So if you guys are looking to check your fittings, that's one way to do it.
Don't mind me, just eating a pizza. Yeah, appreciate you, brother. Customers like this, man, makes it worth it. Chad sent out a whole bunch of pizzas right off for the whole crew. Amazing. I think I just spit out some pizza right now, but amazing. Let me get you guys updated where we're at. Spent the night last night after the wife and daughter kind of went to bed. Wire these up just because I'm kind of short on time. So the customer wanted regular standard toggles, which that's actually what we recommended. He wanted to get rid of this box. Just didn't have enough functions on it. He wanted to have a little more control. So we wired that up for him. I'll be building him a custom switch panel as well. So we're gonna get this routed up right now. And let's see, I didn't even show you guys yet how far we made it. So we got all the airlines ran up. There's still a little bit more clamping we gotta do, and all this has to still, you know, get centered up and clamped up. Right now, I just ran temporary just to get this thing aired up last night to do a pressure check. Same thing with my ignition. I just ran temporary just to get this aired up last night. All this will still get all nice and, you know, straightened up. This will still get probably one more clamp right here. And then we came up over the top. We avoided any type of you know, wheel or tire or axle movement. Came up over, and then I still gotta zip this one up over here, but or clamp it. I'm actually able to clamp it right here. But yeah, we got all the battery stuff. We got breaker in place. Made a little panel for that. Made a panel for the manifold, and then also, you know, added in all the 90s so you don't have all these weird like heavy swoops, you know. So we'll get these added in our billet clamps, but we'll get all these clamped up and zipped up a little bit more. Everything's still really loose right now, just because we're still in the testing stage. Last night we aired it all up. Everything looked good. It looked like we had a small little leak on front right, but not bad. Last thing the customer did request was gauges. So he had a gauge in here, but it was like this 3 gauge. Well, when you have a valve that does 4 functions, and then you want to read the tank, you know, you need 5 really like sending units or outputs. So I just ordered him right now. Should have ordered it yesterday because I would have been here today, but it'll be here tomorrow, hopefully, if all goes well, because I'm aiming to button this thing up today. So we've been chugging along at it. I've also found this really cool stuff that I'm really liking. Let me kind of show you. So I found this nice little heat cover, heat protectant for the airline. Just because the airline, I didn't want it over here because of turning, and then I didn't want it obviously way over here because of the manifold. So we put it directly right here. There's like a little groove in this notch, in this bracket. And then obviously we clamped it down over there. We did pull all his wiring away from his steering column, and then now this is actually protected. It has a heat cover over it. But the cool part about it is it comes with like some tape, and the tape kind of lets you transition. So it's kind of cool. It looks pretty good actually. It's a little expensive, but I'm using this right here just as a protector so it doesn't rub and chafe through itself. But other than that, everything's coming along. I do gotta eliminate all this wiring, and there's still some wires back here that I gotta eliminate just from the previous system. Once this is all buttoned up and dialed in, we'll get the gas tank back in and finish up all the zipping and plumbing. This video is being interrupted slowly. Actually, not slowly. I got here pretty quick, but I had to make a run real quick to my favorite store. Now, I know I might get a lot of heat for this, but you'll see right now. You'll see. It's coming up. It's coming up. Harbor Freight. Yeah, I absolutely love this place, man. I know a lot of people bash it, but their new stuff, their new icon line, I've talked about it in previous videos before, is amazing. I mean, I've switched so much of my stuff at the shop to all the icon stuff, where we've pretty much outfitted almost our full traveling toolbox, and also our toolbox for the shop is majority all icon line now. And most of our toolboxes, I think I have like, I don't even know, let's see, backing up here, I'm gonna say I probably have at least 8 of the US General toolboxes, not gonna lie. I absolutely love all the new icon stuff, but I'm here today because I need to get some angle grinders and some little heat shrink pieces, nothing crazy. So let's go inside. Show you guys something real quick. We're here in Harbor Freight, and I recently purchased one of these right here, swivel whip hose, for the end of our die grinders and DAs and stuff like that. And I like it because it has a little swivel here. So as you're working, this moves with you. We never used to use these before. And like doing on the frames and arms and stuff like that, a lot of times what was happening is like this piece that goes into your hose, it would start cracking at the hose because it's a constant movement all day. Once we got that, we used to go through these connections and hoses probably about once a month. So we would replace out probably about 7 to 8 hoses a month. And that's a huge on expense. I swapped, not necessarily this brand, I'm going to try these out, but this brand specific, or this style specifically here, we swapped it out on our DA probably about 4 months ago. Have not gone through a hose or a connection. So I just saw Harbor Freight had them here, and they up $5. If I'm not mistaken, this should save it. Like I said, I think I just purchased one of these for like $60, and it's worked and it saved it. So I'm gonna try these ones out. We're gonna swap them out onto some of our new angle grinders and stuff like that. Keep you guys updated on that. You know, like I said, we've been swapping a lot of our stuff over. So let's see what happens. So went in there for some heat shrink. Came out with a whole bunch of stuff. It's one of those things, I'm in there, I'm like, I didn't realize I needed it, and then I start walking to the store, I'm like, I probably need that. I should probably get it. The guys probably could use that. So that's what happens. Good old Harbor Freight. Love it though. I mean, you guys can't beat the pricing. And it's not like what it used to be. I used to say the same thing, but I'm here all the time. I've noticed changes. Absolutely love it now. It's price efficient. It works. And people say like, oh, it's for the hobbyist. They do have that. They have the lower end side. That is more of the hobbyist side. But now they have the higher end side too. And that's competing with all the big brands. And personally,
I use a lot of the big brand stuff. Used to. I'm not buying it anymore. I'm considering this my new big brand, Icon and Harbor Freight. All right, let's get back to the shop. Also, every time I do come to this Harbor Freight here, I always run into somebody. Girl's like, I can run into Harbor Freight, be in and out in like 15 minutes. I know the aisles already. I'll be back on my way. Like no more than 25 minutes and I should be back at the shop. Well, I've been here for over an hour. I was in there, I was shopping, and I hear someone call my name, and it ends up being one of the local guys here. It's actually a customer of ours, but not only that, he's actually a business owner, a small business owner, just like ourselves, and he has a really cool business out here, and he's been like absolutely great to us. He actually owns a company out in Moreno Valley. It's called Burrito Boss. The food, so good. Burrito Boss. He's also on like DoorDash and like Uber Eats and stuff too. So if you guys ever want to check him out, Burrito Boss. And then he also owns another company, and it's like a churro truck. Freaking good. So good. So good that we actually booked it for my daughter's birthday, I think. And was it her birthday? No, our baby shower. We booked it for my daughter's baby shower, and he made churros all day. And ice cream, oh my god, so good. Also look him up too. It's the same business, same guy, just different names. But yeah, bomb. Now let's get back to work. I got a truck to finish. We are in the home stretch. We're starting to feel good. We're starting to get everything extended underneath the dash. We were moving everything. So pretty much, he kind of had a switch here, a switch there, a switch here, a switch there. He had the switch controller. So what we're doing is we're just kind of putting everything together in the center location. That way we don't have to worry about a whole bunch of holes, a whole bunch of different switches. Everything is centrally located. Everything runs together, all the wiring runs together. It just really simplifies the whole process. So we're just extending out all the wires to properly heat shrinking them. Here's, I don't know if you can see it back there. Here's his flamethrower. So we got his flamethrower extended out here. We got his airbag switches all right there. Those are still, everything's already heat shrunk and ready to go, but we're still waiting for the gauge. That hasn't showed up yet. The guys are on lookout up front just in case it does. So once this is all done, which that one's done, switches are done, I'm extending out his actuator right now. So I'm trying to figure out what he has going on wiring wise. That way we can extend it and it lifts this little flap. And then the last thing that we gotta do for wiring on this is I gotta run a relay to his fan and then actually trigger that off of ignition. All this stuff got added on after the fact. A lot more, definitely a lot more, but we're making good headway. I got AJ underneath the truck right now. I don't know if you can see him. He's down there. We found a few more butt connectors or unions from the airline. One of them was leaking, so we're replacing that out right now. And then getting everything clamped up on the bottom side. And yeah, just finalizing. A lot of it is already there. Everything's in place. We're just fit and finish. That's it. All right, radiator fan's been all wired up. Added in the breakers and the relays over here. We didn't have really much room for where it's gonna go. Everything's right here, so we just placed it right there with it. We do have majority of the wiring all loomed up and wired into the cab already. But the good part is sensors and gauges just showed up from ABS. So we're gonna try these out. I've never used these ones specifically, but they do look pretty nice. So let's give it a try, see what happens. Just got all the switches in. Did this cool little thing, man. I've never actually really messed with aluminum molding and aluminum welding too much. I played around with it. I wasn't very good at it when I started. I've only done it maybe like 4 or 5 times. We just don't do a lot of aluminum molding. I used to weld around the bungs back in the day, but like that was as far as I went. The last, aluminum I did was on George's little mini truck, and then I did some more here. And well, it's pretty cool to, realistically learn on on a project car like this, right? I figured right now is the perfect opportunity to do it. So we were waiting for the ABS gauge to come in. It showed up. We got it all designed in the meantime. As soon as it showed up, I started cutting it, welded it or bent it, welded it, molded it, now installing it and getting all the wiring in place now. So we have all the switches. I went ahead and laser engraved each one too, just to add a little extra touch. And then we got AJ running in all the sensor wiring. Sensor wiring is coming in all through the bottom side of the dash here. I know right now it looks like a cluster, but trust me, we're gonna zip all that up and that's gonna look better. All right, we are almost there. We're on the home stretch right now, guys. We are working on the last of the gauge wiring right now. And I found my light. It happened to be at my dad's house, who knows? But we get the gauge wiring in, we got the front done, we got the rear done. The last thing we gotta do on the rear right now is just get the fuel tank back mounted. It's in position, fuel lines are in, sending unit wires already in. It's literally just mounted. Once that's mounted, work our way into the cluster of wires in here. That's all the gauge sending unit wires. So that's the one thing I dislike about gauges. Like, I mean, I love gauges. I think it's a great idea, but this is the part that sucks. So we gotta trim down, cut down, do what we gotta do to get this to work. We did get the switch panel already mounted in place. As you can see, they have all the wires just kind of hanging back there. We'll get all those tucked up and it'll look good. All right, so we're getting the last of the switch panel wiring all done. Got all these plugged in. Wasn't really quite sure what this one was for originally. After we plugged in all the front and rear sensors, plugged this one in, which was white and black. Then I realized it changed the colors. I'm pretty sure it probably said in the instructions, but honestly I didn't read them. Sorry. It's just one of those easier. It's easier to just plug it in and figure it out. But I think we're gonna leave it, I think, on this yellowish one because it kind of matches the dash. The white isn't really a true white. It's kind of a purpley white. It's because it's using an RGB instead of an actual true white diode. But let's go with that yellowy tan color. That's looking a lot better. So now I just gotta pull all the labeling off of these, and I gotta pull these back and tuck them up. All right, guys, we are done. We're over here in the Hoppers cul-de-sac, and man, it feels good to have this one done. It is absolutely laid out right now. You guys can see that back tire is touching. We got everything pretty much all dialed in. We got all the gauges in. We got everything all test fitted, and right now it's just on a test drive. We're gonna go check it out, test drive it for a little bit, and then from there, we're gonna do a little cleanup, a little wipe up, and make sure everything's good. And we're gonna do a hard pressure check tonight. But everything's looking really, really freaking good right now. So let me jump in this guy real quick and let's go take it down the street. So with that successful test drive, we are gonna call it a night. Woo! It is about to storm on us. We did a final test drive on it. Everything was good. We have it up on a pressure check right now, which is gonna be a secondary pressure check. But so far, everything's looking really, really good. So it's in, parked for the night, and we are out of here. We'll see you guys later. Oh wait, forgot to say, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you guys on the next one.